Hello colleagues, we are going to do another little Bible Online Learner tutorial in which I show you how to create the morphology exercise for Hebrew verbs. I just got an email by one of you wondering how to create a first guttural, first aleph verb or pay guttural, pay aleph verb exercise. So we go to Manage Exercises, and there we just, I'm just going to use my own folder as a dummy folder here, the Hebrew 1 folder. Let's create a dummy folder there. Dummy for testing. Okay, good. Here's our folder. Let's make it visible to everybody. Excellent. Okay, so now let's create a folder, create an exercise. We choose the Hebrew database as this was a question on the Hebrew, so just add a little description. This is to test first guttural and first aleph verbs. Okay, you choose your passage. If it's morphology, I usually choose everything. So then you go to sentence, and now you have this drop-down windows in which you can select the different categories that are meaningful to your exercise. So for example, obviously this is a word-based exercise, it's morphology, so we stay here under the sentence unit type word. We're checking words, and now we are going to look for verb classes. We're going to verb class. Now watch what's happening in this box. This is the stuff that happens under the hood. One of my colleagues was asking about this. So now you can see how the this box, the writing of this box is changing. Basically what you're seeing here is the MQL query code. You don't need to do anything with it, but you'll see that this is actually the engine that runs in the background. If I'm saying I only want regular verbs, you see I'm clicking yes, regular verbs. This was just added. Let me do this again. You see how the MQL query is actually being built as you choose and pick from the menu. Well, in our case, we said we want first guttural verbs. So here, yes, first guttural verbs. And we want to have first aleph verbs. So now we have the first guttural and the first aleph verbs. Keep in mind that we also have double weak verbs, right? We have first aleph and third hey, or pe aleph and lamed hey. If you have not prepared your students yet to tackle multiple weak components in a verb, then you want to make sure that we, for example, don't have lamed hey. Let's say you want to expose your students to only first guttural and only first aleph verbs that do not share other weak features, then you want to exclude them here. For example, I don't want lamed aleph, lamed hey. I don't want geminate verbs or ein verbs. So you take them out here. No 4 consonant verbs, right? There are a few 4 consonant verbs. So this is what you can do. You can also say I have 2 choices. So I want, for example, just first guttural verbs being mixed up with a second type of class, namely just first aleph verbs. Yeah, so then again, you want to ignore the other types of verbs that you don't want to have your student get exposed to. So that's an option. So perhaps you don't want any regular verbs either, right? So let's also exclude them. And let's take them all out here. So now we only have first guttural verbs and only first aleph verbs. Now you see that while we are doing this, this query was actually built. This is what's running in the background. Now features, you want to probably show the text, and then what do you want to request? I guess you want to request the tense, the person, gender, number. That's probably the typical things. Will there be suffix included in this exercise? It seems to me that the request is to build a very simple exercise where suffixes are not yet included. So let's exclude suffixes. Here you go to suffix, and just make sure that we do not, you see there is not, we don't have any first, second, or third person suffix. So all this was now added. You see here verb classes are being here, and then suffix. There is no suffix. Again, you don't need to understand the query language, but this is what's being built in the background. Now we go to features. I think we have everything, tense, person, gender, number. Now we can save our exercise, call it first guttural, first aleph, save. The exercise is ready. Always test it before you share it with your students. So let's go to the folder that contains this exercise. Here's our dummy for testing. Here's the exercise. Let's open it. And you see now we have, in this case, a first guttural verb, avar, avar. Then we have a first aleph verb, amar. Then again a first guttural, avar, azar, first guttural, first aleph. Yeah, so I hope this was helpful. Perhaps just as a short note at the end, I personally don't use actually the easy to use checkboxes and drop down windows. They are a great start, but I actually write my MQL queries here in combination with text fabric, where I locate specific monad numbers. Why am I doing this? And not because I'm a nerd, but because I want to make sure that the students get a very good distribution, exposure to all variations of first aleph and first guttural verbs. So I want them all to have at least 3 cases of a third singular masculine, at least 3 cases of a third plural masculine, at least 3 cases of a second singular feminine, and so on, of I-guttural, I-aleph, I-guttural, and so on. So I want to have a very well distributed exercise where they get exposed to all forms evenly, and not have over-representation of, for example, third singular masculine forms. In order to achieve that, I'm going a little different route. If you are interested in these types of exercises that have a very good distribution of everything, you can go here to the Hebrew Qualifier course, and all morphology exercises that you find here are actually well-distributed morphology exercises. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I'm happy to create a more specific one for you, or with you, even better, so that you feel independent of other assistants. I hope that was helpful. Thank you very much.